Here we are, and this is Time for Wrestling. Right now, we're going to talk about Time for Wrestling a little bit before we talk about all things in regards to the other forms of wrestling that we've watched throughout the week. We did the first part. The second part is not exactly what we said it's going to be, but it's going to be about what we feel that we need to talk about and what matters to us in Time for Wrestling, as well as what matters to us in pro wrestling. So, we just got through having Time for Mania. Time for Mania was our biggest production, even though we felt that we were slighted in regards to the viewership on YouTube. We've devised a new plan to not just open up the viewership on YouTube, but open up the viewership to the private group that we have and Twitter. So right now we're trying to establish other ways for people to see it live as it happens and not just watching it on YouTube. But we ask for your subscriptions, we ask for your retweets, your shares as much as you can on Twitter so people will know what we're doing and spread it. You know, it doesn't cost much. Matter of fact, it costs nothing at all in order to subscribe to anything that we have. Now, if you want to be a part of the group that is Time for Wrestling on Facebook, you can just send a request. And request to add, you more than likely you will be accepted, and you will see what we have planned. Time after Mania will be there streaming live on this Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maurice, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who supports Time for Wrestling, especially the day one subscribers who still down with Time for Wrestling. It's been a long journey, so we got things that's going to be great coming to Time for Wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, a lot of things planned. We're planning to do Time for Wrestling TV, and then we're going to have Time for Recovery that happens after that. But then after that, we're going to go back to the normal schedule of having the Monday show, the Tuesday show, the house show recap returns, and follow that up with, week after week until the next pay-per-view happens. So basically, there's going to be a pay-per-view that's going to happen early February. There's going to be another pay-per-view that happens at the end of February. So we got that out of the way. Now it's time to talk about something that has discouraged me, but probably doesn't discourage everybody, but it has discouraged me. It is the fall of the Undisputed Era and NXT. NXT has been pretty much my go-to in regards to drama, wrestling in general, and to see how storylines get played out from week to week. Now, since it's live, I get to see that every Wednesday. There was a prophecy that was fulfilled by the end of 2019 where the North American, the male singles championship, the tag team championships were all held by all four members of the Undisputed Era. It was the prophecy that was fulfilled and accomplished. Not saying that the contenders for the championships were not great contenders, but the prophecy was fulfilled. Now, I am a person that has always been for an uprising of a star when it comes to professional wrestling. Now, the most unlikeliest of these guys had no choice but to show that he is forever and will always be limitless, and that is Keith Lee. We must bask in his glory. But why did his glory have to be somebody that had to take over my boy ever since Ring of Honor? My boy, Roderick Strong. Why did he even have to go after that North American Championship? He could have went after Adam Cole. He could have tagged up with Dominic to get the tag team titles off of the other two members of the Undisputed Era, the former Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. But no, he targeted Roderick Strong because he knew in a one-on-one competition that he would be able to handle business. And not only did he handle it, handled all 4 members by himself with a bum leg to become your new North American champion in NXT. How do you feel about this taking place, Maurice?
Well, it's great because I like Keith Lee. And I know you like Roderick Strong and all. I like him too, but it is time for your undisputed era, aka your Ring of Honor boy, to drop the titles. With somebody else.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But it's such a sting to me because Roderick has been my boy since I saw him chubby back in the days of early Ring of Honor. I have early Ring of Honor DVDs that people don't buy anymore, that you can't buy anymore, where Roddy was just beating up everybody, no matter if it was singles or tag team division. I even have a Roderick Strong t-shirt that says Roddy versus the World, when he was the World Television Champion in Ring of Honor. So, only thing I'm saying is, it's cool that Keith Lee has it, and it's cool that everybody must bask in his glory because he's limitless. And it's cool that it is another African American male that holds a title in professional wrestling. That has weight. The thing about it is the fact that I can't really see anybody taking the belt off of him. Do you see anybody taking the belt off him?
No, because Keith Lee is hottest thing going right now with NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's gonna have that belt for a good while.
Like, how did you like when Velveteen had the North American Championship? Because I felt that he had a rise himself. Like, this is
That's
like
my boy, but he got injured.
He did.
You gotta remember.
He got that back injury.
I won't be surprised if you see him in the Royal Rumble. I'll be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
He make his return tomorrow at the Royal Rumble.
If he returns, that's cool that he returns. But all thing I'm saying is, I'm looking forward to, even though he took the belt off my boy, I'm looking forward to Keith Lee being in the Royal Rumble. Honestly, I would want him to be the person that he either eliminates Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, if that is possible. Like, he's the guy that I feel that believably can take both those guys out. I mean, I laugh about it, but what if he just pounced Brock Lesnar out of the ring for him to get that little thing over on Brock Lesnar on a road to WrestleMania? That'd be pretty cool.
Well, that means it's gonna be Brock versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania for the WWE World title.
Yeah, it could happen. I know Brock is not going to win. I don't really see that happening, but if you could just get a little leverage on him, that'd be pretty cool. Besides that, I know that the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic is going to be the Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, versus the Grizzled Young Vets, James Drake and Zach Gibson. I don't know if anybody realizes this, but Zach Gibson is a really good promo. He is very exceptional in regards to making people hate him at any given chance. His tag team partner is virtually a mute. He doesn't really say anything, but he is very exceptional in regards to making people hate him and want to see him get beat. So, I know that you were watching the program by the name of AEW, so that made me inclined to watch it for the past going on 3 weeks, where you had a big tag team title match. It was the champions, SCU, because every town is the worst. Every town is the worst place they've ever been in. So,
except for
Southern California. So, they, by the names of Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, went against the number one contenders for the tag team title that earned it last week, by the names of Hangman Adam Page and the Cleaner, what else, Bell's Bout Machine, Kenny Omega. I saw this match, and from what I can see from the match, Adam Page was handling his business. He showed that he's not just a typical guy, and I would not mind Adam Page showing off what he can do singles-wise going in the future. But this is a tag team contest, and what happened as a result, Maurice? Who won the match?
Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
Okay, they won the titles. They are the champions. How do you like?
Tell you how I feel.
Go ahead. Say which is. How do you feel?
I feel like if you've been watching it for 3 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see Adam Page. He is going to. It seems like he's going to turn evil to the Elite because they keep cutting him out. Every time he try to talk, they cut him off. The Young Bucks don't respect him. Kenny Omega is like, yeah, you're my boy, but you know, the Young Bucks is my boys first. And if you think about it, he drinks all the time.
Yeah, he has an alcoholic gimmick. He's an alcoholic. His gimmick is the fact he's alcoholic. He's an alcoholic based on having depression over not being utilized or looked upon as the elite level. He doesn't think that he's an elite member. That's why he left the elite.
Yeah. Since Pop beat him, it's acting crazy.
Mm-hmm. So they won the tag team titles. They're celebrating. As soon as they won the titles, the Young Bucks appear?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do the Young Bucks have to be there when he won the tag team titles?
The Young Bucks want the titles. They want the belt. They consider themselves the best tag team in the world. And to me, no. The Lucha Brothers is the best tag team that they have at even.
I believe that too. But the thing is, how many times did the Lucha Brothers win a match? Like, they're not on any type of streak. They're not winning streak. They're pretty much losing every tag team match I've seen. Especially since I watched for the past 3 weeks. Did you see them win a match?
Let's see. The last match they won was at that tournament to see who would be the world tag team champion.
Uh-huh.
When they made it to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
And after they lost to SCU, that was it.
So you have the makeshift team of Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, who are prone to being broken up because of one thing in particular. And it's besides the alcoholic problem, it's besides the jealousy problem. It's the issue that Kenny Omega has his path to his next agenda in regards to handling business, his issue with Pac. Pac is on the mind of Kenny Omega. Pac attacked Michael Nakazawa. And that caused Kenny Omega to just want to fight him with tons of aggression.
Hey, tell our listeners who is Mike, because a lot of people don't know who he is.
Okay, Michael Nakazawa is a translator in regards to English to Japanese translations. When American wrestlers go to Japan, and he translates so that they can communicate back and forth. Also, he is a fitness trainer, personal fitness trainer, and he's one of the best friends of Kenny Omega. But his role in AEW is, what is he, like a vice president or something? What is he?
To me, he's a comedy wrestler.
He is a comedy wrestler, but I mean, his role in regards to AEW, what is he like? What was he appointed?
I don't know.
Some kind of role he has. It's supposed to be a position within AEW. But yes, he's a comedy wrestler. I saw him first in Chikara when he did an excursion to Chikara in America when he was doing the baby oil gimmick, where he used baby oil and put it all over his body and his mouth, on other wrestlers, and rubbing his body on the person to prevent himself from losing. He did it so that he can win matches. Did I actually see him win a match with this? Nope. He is specifically out of the DDT promotion that Kenny Omega was famous in before he went to New Japan. DDT stands for Dramatic. I think it's Dramatic. What is it? Dramatic Dream Team. Yeah, Dramatic Dream Team. Or D2T. And this is what he had anywhere, Falls Count Anywhere hardcore matches, and what was it, like inside of buildings, outside, on Ferris wheels. They did all kind of crazy things there that made Kenny Omega be obsessed with it, because he was obsessed with that wrestling. He was obsessed with Kota Ibushi. In regards to his wrestling skills, he started emulating it. But their common bond was Michael Nakazawa. So Michael Nakazawa getting attacked really affects Kenny. He doesn't like Pac to begin with, and Pac just wants that rubber match to prove that he is better than Kenny Omega. So also on the show, we had a No More Contendership match where it was Jon Moxley going against Pac to see who was going to go against Chris Jericho. Jon Moxley had his eye stabbed with one of the spikes that was on Jericho's jacket.
Yep.
And he came in the match with one eye. His eye got attacked in this match very viciously, to the point that it was like, how can a man with one eye be a guy with two eyes? Somehow this is possible. Somehow he can see out of that one eye enough so that he can get the win, because he beat Pac to become the #1 contender. Now this is setting the motion for Pac versus Kenny Omega. It's setting the motion for Jon Moxley going against Jericho for the AEW World title, which is going to take place in February at Revolution. Another match that was pretty much made over the past couple weeks that I've been watching was MJF versus Cody. Now, there's like, there's 3 stipulations that Cody has to abide by in order to get this match, right?
Yeah.
He cannot touch Cody before the match, until that match actually happens. He must go in a steel cage match against, what's his name? What's his bodyguard's name?
Is it Rufus or what? I forgot.
It's a weird name.
It's a weird name.
And it's a one-word name. It's a weird name, but he's a guy that has his hair cut in like a man bun type situation. But he's a real big guy. Worslow, something like that. Worslow, I think that's his name. But he goes against him in a steel cage match. And the third one is that he gets 10 lashes on live TV. Now, this 10 lashes situation is pretty funny, because we've seen something similar to this back in ECW days. It was the canning incident that happened as a result of a loss of a match. It was Tommy Dreamer going against Sandman. The Sandman won the match, and this led into Tommy Dreamer getting caned over and over viciously by the Sandman. He gave him one lash. He said, "Thank you, may I have another?" And he just proceeded to beat that boy senseless, as if he was some kind of person that was taking a shot for what he believed in. That angle led into many different directions, but that was a telling scene. And I'm pretty sure this scene is going to be something like that, to the point that it's probably going to be uncomfortable in order to see. So, here we go. What happened next after this? In regards to the next show we need to talk about. We need to talk about this match we just got to see. We saw this whole show. We saw the whole show that is Worlds Collide. The Worlds Collide show was takeover level. What do you think? It's takeover level type show?
Yeah, it was better than most interviews that I've seen. So yeah, I said takeover level.
This is takeover level. And the matches were as follows. We're going to go match up. We just talk a little bit, not much. Finn Balor versus Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov has a lot of skill, I will say that. But I don't know what it is about him that I never believe that he could be like a top champion. I can't believe that he's going to beat Finn Balor. Finn Balor pretty much had a good match with him, but it was at no point that I think that Dragunov was going to be able to win this contest.
Because either way he came to the ring, the crowd was dead, man.
No, it was worse than that. The crowd being dead was one thing. They booed him and they cheered Finn the whole match. The whole match. this is something that I didn't expect to happen, but I should understand that a lot of people don't see NXT UK, so they don't really know what Dragunov's deal is. They just see a guy that has red contacts with his hair slicked back with mousse, and he makes weird faces and jumps off the sky. He reminds people of something off of like a cartoon, but he held his own. He lost in the end, and Finn Balor moves on to the next opposition that he has. The next match was, I'm not gonna lie, I was happy beyond belief when this match concluded. We had Angel Garza defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Scott, Travis Banks, and Jordan Devlin. That match was awesome beyond belief, and the finish was perfect. After all the losses that I've seen Jordan Devlin get, because I don't believe that man should be losing, he finally got his biggest win of his whole freaking career. He hit his finishing move on Isaiah Scott to become the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. He's taking that belt to the UK because he is the Irish Ace, like he said, and he proved that he's one of the best wrestlers, not only in the UK, not only in NXT, but in the world. Everything he did in that match proved that he is truly a protege of, versus the former match where we had Finn Balor beating Ilya Dragunov, because he is the protege of Finn Balor.
Yep.
So he did a lot in that match. He handled his business, and I'm very happy. I was ecstatic about that win. The next match was a great match in itself. It was DIY going against Mustache Mountain. What are your thoughts about the match?
The match was one of my best matches of tonight, because you had like the four-way dance was good. It was like, okay, how can they top this? And that tag team match was like, okay, we're gonna beat whatever y'all did. And they just been moving up and up and up all the way to the main event. So we'll talk about the main event later. But I love it. I love the drama. I love the story that they told in the ring.
What I like about the match is the fact that they basically put both tag team as if they're equals. Mustache Mountain never was the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, but they were the NXT Brand Tag Team Champions. DIY is probably the most babyface tag team to ever hold NXT Tag Team Championship. So this was, the pride of one brand versus the heart and soul of another brand. So it was both brands coming together in this spectacular match that showcased the skills of both. There was at least twice close to the end of the match where it looked like Tommaso Ciampa was going to get pinned, and I laughed and I said, Tommaso Ciampa doesn't know what a 3 count is, because he really doesn't get beat. Like, it's rare that he gets beat in any type of contest, no matter if it's singles or tag. But he actually showed that he can still be himself, and he can have a little bit of story with Johnny Gargano to work together to win this match. I mean, there was a little twitch in my mind saying that if Johnny was to ever say that he wants to go after the NXT Male Singles Championship and Tommaso Ciampa have it, they're going to have a rivalry all over again.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and we already know what happens when they wrestle each other.
Yes, matches of the year will follow after that. So
then they be killing themselves.
Yes. The next match was for the NXT Women's Championship. This is the regular brand NXT Women's Championship. They called it the NXT Championship because they're trying to take the word women out of it for some reason. I think it's more so to have it more in line with the male championship, even though they don't call the main championship the male championship. They just want to just have it in line and saying that for the women's division, this is the NXT Championship. Regardless, they had the former UK champion by the name of Toni Storm going against the current NXT brand champion, Rhea Ripley. This was a pretty decent match. The one thing that I took away from the match is there was no real drama. And the real drama I'm talking about is a rivalry that culminates in the match happening. All these matches that happened, there was something to it to draw you in. Even Finn Balor versus Ilya Dragunov, that happening was because the underdog of Ilya Dragunov wanted to beat Finn Balor, regardless of the fact that we kind of figured out he wasn't going to beat him. In this match, it was more so Rhea Ripley finally get a win over Toni Storm, and that's it. Like, there's nothing else to it but that. She got the win. It's over. The one thing that I found about the match is the fact that Rhea Ripley is only as good as the person that she goes against. She's young, but I know Toni Storm is more of a prophetic wrestler than she is, but this match came across as kind of like basic. It wasn't anything that made anybody happy about it. Matter of fact, everybody acted like the match really wasn't happening. They didn't boo the match, but they didn't really care about it. And that was kind of the stark difference between this match and when Rhea won the title when she went against Shayna Baszler, because her next defense is going to be against the female that was in the audience that won the Battle Royal a couple of weeks ago by the name of Bianca Belair. So
you're telling me that match was a bathroom break match? Like, oh, I gotta go.
I don't want to say it was a bathroom break match. It was just a match that you don't really need to go out your way to see it, but it happened. And it's two wrestlers that wrestled each other that had better matches against each other. It's just on this evening, it was just a typical match. That there's no time in the match that I think that, oh, Toni Storm is going to win the title. No, there's no time. Even when she had the advantage, it didn't look like she was going to ever win the title off of Rhea Ripley. This is Rhea Ripley's first defense. There's no way, after all that build for her to win the title, that they were going to just let her lose the title in her first defense. That wasn't going to happen.
Well, they should have just had that match all over.
Whoa.
That match out.
I think that they wanted to have brand versus brand. Since Toni Storm is from that brand, she has a little bit of history with Toni Storm. The match happened because she challenged her and she got the match. That's pretty much the purpose of that. Now, the main event. The main event was very dramatic. It was very dramatic. It was very much playing the scenes of a movie, beginning, middle, and end. Because you would think that after Alexander Wolf got taken out on accident by Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong, that the advantage would be in the favor of the Undisputed Era. But trying to overcome Volta in itself is a task. And having Fabian Archer along with Marcel Barthel willing to sacrifice their body so that Volta can get the win, that's an asset in itself. If you're willing to take bullets just so that the leader of your group can get a win, that right there shows that you have team unity. Volta was being chanted all throughout this match. It was either Volta or Undisputed Era. There was no chance for any other than members of Imperium. It was just Volta, Volta, Volta.
Adam Cole, that's it.
Adam Cole's name was chanted whenever he did things, but I'm talking about in regards to group cohesion, group unison, it was not chanted at all. That's not a slight on the other members of Imperium because they really sacrificed body. If you saw after that match, after Volta hit his stacking powerbomb on to Bobby Fish, you saw that his other teammates that remained, Marcel Barthel and Fabian Archer, were hurt. They were holding body limbs. His Volta looked like he was okay, even though he got put through a table as if he didn't exist and left for dead. He came back, he got the win, and he's a very vicious competitor. He got the revenge for what happened at NXT TakeOver, NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2. It's kind of hard to say, but I said it. I finally got it the second time. Regardless, Volta is a person that has yet to get pinned or submitted. by anybody in NXT. Let's put it like that. He didn't get pinned or submitted by anybody in NXT, UK, or NXT. Yeah, Survivor Series, he got pinned very early on. He was the first elimination, I believe, because Drew McIntyre hit him with one boot, the Claymore, and that was it.
That made me mad. I was like, really?
Yes, that's all it takes. It takes a guy who looks like he can kill Volta to beat him, because that's pretty much what he was. Like, there's no way. I don't think that Volta would ever be able to beat Drew McIntyre at any phase of his career. No. So
let me tell the people. You got me into Mr. Walter or Volta or Big Ben,
Volta,
whatever you like to call him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back in the days, you was like, "Yo, here's some XWX," and I put a DVD on and I see this big giant dude. And I'm like, who is this? And you was like, yo, that's Walter. I was like, oh my god, this dude is amazing. Mm-hmm. That's why his name's Love.
Yes, he was wearing a singlet around that time. He was actually heavier.
Yeah.
There was one episode. No, it was one DVD event. It was an event that was on DVD by Chikara when he went to WXW in Germany, where on commentary, Chucky T, Chikara wrestler, now AEW wrestler, said on commentary, if anybody ever kicks me in the back like Volta did, then I will retire.
That was funny.
That was a very vicious jerk kick, as I call it on commentary. It was a jerk kick. And it was very vicious. It was loud. He can chop real hard. He can hit you with a clothesline. It looked like he just tried to end your life. So he has a lot of advantage on his hand. But when it comes to guys that know how to handle big guys, Drew McIntyre is the one. And talking about Drew McIntyre, let's start our predictions for the Royal Rumble event happening on tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, and we will be back tomorrow night to recap the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so how are we going to do this? This is a singles match. It's Sheamus versus Shorty G. There is no way in the world that Sheamus is going to lose this match.
That better be a pre-show.
It is on the main show. Main show. Talking about pre-show, we didn't talk about the match that I saw in the pre-show. I don't know if you saw it. It was Mia Yim going against Kayla Ray. She is the NXT UK champion. Huh?
That should have been on the main show.
It was a pretty decent match. It should have been on the main show, but it wasn't. Kaylee Ray got the win by roll-up with a rope assist. That is a very dirty tactic, but she got the win. And it seems as if Mia Yim cannot beat anybody when it comes to getting revenge lately. So maybe that's a sign for her career and character in the future. Now back to this Royal Rumble predictions. Like I said, Sheamus, he's definitely going to murder Shorty G. Now, I'm not saying that to slight Shorty G, because Shorty G is a good wrestler. I'm not saying that. It's just the fact that Sheamus is going to murder Shorty G on live television. Okay, now the next match they're going to have is going to be the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley defending against Lacey Evans. My prediction is that I'm kind of wavering on it, thinking about how things happen. Somehow Bayley's going to win.
You know how I feel about Bayley. So Bayley's going to win.
Yeah.
She's still out there, man. Don't think she's injured.
I know that Sasha Banks is still around. I know that Sasha Banks is laying in waiting. But we'll talk about that when we talk about another match. But right now, we're going to talk about the match between the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, defending against Asuka. I believe that the only reason this match is taking place is because last year at Royal Rumble, Asuka tapped out Becky Lynch before Becky Lynch went on to win the Royal Rumble. If she did not tap her out before that show, this match would not be happening. So I go to say that Becky Lynch will finally get a win somehow, some way, beating Asuka to move on to whoever wins the Royal Rumble match for the women's, so that they'll have a match at WrestleMania. What's your prediction?
It time for Becky to lose the belt.
Oh, wow.
Becky, yes, I like Becky.
Oh.
But it's time for her to lose the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. When she loses the belt, what can she do? Well, she can go and say, oh, I need to get another chance at the title. She gets her baby.
Mm-hmm.
So my prediction is it's going to be Asuka 2 belts.
Oh. So you think that she's going to lose this match and not enter the women's Royal Rumble match?
She will be in the women's Royal Rumble match.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, the next match we're going to talk about is the Falls Count Anywhere match between Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. Roman wins.
Yeah. If he don't win, then he's going to be picked in the Royal Rumble and he might win.
If he doesn't win, I got number 30. Okay.
Number 30.
Okay, out of all the last singles match to happen is going to be the Universal title match, which is going to be in red light. The strap match between The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is an exceptional wrestler. He can beat anybody in the world they put in front of him at any given time. But based on how the gimmick is worked, based on how things have happened, it's not quite time for The Fiend to lose, so The Fiend will retain in this match.
The Fiend will win.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that Daniel Bryan beat The Fiend. Because The Fiend don't sell no moves. I don't care what you do to this man. He's not going to sell. He's gonna jump off like he's Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to lose. He's not going to sell no moves. So we already know what happened. And my man Daniel Bryan is going to get hurt really, really bad.
I saw in the end of SmackDown that he had straps put very bad bruises on his back. So I can imagine in that red light, we may not see it automatically, but after the match, we're going to see welts all over Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah, that's just the beginning of that. But what's that man going to take?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be more. He's going to be looking at this girl, his wife, and she's going to have to put some ointment or something on his back. Because he ain't going to be laying on his back.
Yes,
It's
there's a lot of things happening in regards to that. I know The Fiend has his thing in regards to making people revert back to what they used to be. Daniel Bryan has his hair cut and his beard cut as if that makes him a brand new man, or it makes him very corporate, if you ask me. Regardless, Daniel Bryan, there's no way he's winning that match. Now, it's time for the predictions for the Royal Rumble match for the women. Now, I'm going to say 2 predictions because I think it deserves 2 predictions, and that's just how it is. Both Royal Rumble matches, I have 2 predictions. So, my predictions for this match is if Becky Lynch loses the championship to Asuka, the match will still remain the same, and the match will be won by an NXT competitor by the name of Shayna Baszler. So that at WrestleMania, it might end up being a 3-way dance.
another 3-way dance?
Another 3-way? Because it would allow other matches to take place with the women instead of just being 2 women's matches. It'd probably be 3 big time women's matches. Because every year they have to find a purpose of Charlotte Flair may find her feud within the Royal Rumble itself. Now, the other female that I picked to win the Royal Rumble would have to be unpopular belief, I will say Sasha Banks. Because if Sasha wins and Bayley retains, the rivalry between Sasha and Bayley will culminate at WrestleMania. Because one of them are going to turn on each other on the road to WrestleMania, which will make it intriguing to see who's going to win at WrestleMania. So who are your 2 picks, Maurice?
I like Sasha winning, but I believe if she wins, she's not going to go against Bailey championship, she's going to Raw and get whoever got that title. So Bailey and Charlotte at WrestleMania are going to have the women's champion.
Oh, so you think that Bailey having one belt at the end of close to the end of WrestleMania, along with Sasha having a belt, means that they are the top of the mountain in the women's division?
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to be the champion heading to WrestleMania in regards to the Raw champion? Huh?
Oscar's going to be the one.
So it's going to be Oscar versus Sasha Banks?
Yeah.
Okay. That's your first pick, right?
My first pick. My second pick, I'd say it's going to be shocking. Nia Jax. Win it all.
Oh. So
Yeah.
Nia Jax wins, and then we don't know which show she's going to be on it. We don't know who she's going to pick.
Yeah, it's time for her to heal up, man. She should be ready.
Yeah, I think she's cleared. I'm not really too sure. I think she is.
Yeah. Why not? Let her win it. Let her be number 30. Throw them girls out the ring and get your spot.
Okay, now the male Royal Rumble match. I have two picks. This is not hard for me to pick. If a SmackDown wrestler wins, it will definitely be Roman Reigns. If it's a Raw wrestler that wins, it's definitely going to be Drew McIntyre.
Take my pick, man. Get off my head.
Oh, those are your picks? Your picks are the same picks as mine?
Yeah, because think about it. If you look at how wrestling is today, you can tell Roman Reigns is going to get that championship before the end.
Oh, I'm going to say this right now. Roman Reigns will be the Universal Champion at WrestleMania. He will win it. At the end of WrestleMania, he will be the person with it. That's it.
He's going to, 2 or 3 spears on the team, that's a wrap.
I think it may just be one spear. Well, it'll be a situation where everything is dimmed red, right? And as soon as he spear him, all the lights come up, and he just pins him 1, 2, 3, and that's over.
Because think about it. Ray White, when they was having their beef, Ray White said it'd never be over. Remember?
I remember he said that it would never be over between him and Roman Reigns. The thing about it is, I think he's going to spear him to the point that the Fiend will not exist anymore.
Oh, the character's going to be over.
The only thing that's going to be left is going to be Firefly Funhouse Bray.
Title's ugly.
And he's going to look around. He's going to look around looking for the Fiend, and he won't be able to find him because Roman Reigns speared the Fiend out of the body of Bray Wyatt. It'd be kind of like he's broken Matt Hardy out of nowhere. He's just broken. He cannot fix himself.
Matt Hardy. I have a complaint. I'm mad.
Okay.
WWE, if you're listening to this podcast, because it seems like every time we do something on Time for Wrestling, y'all.
Oh God.
So I'm tired of y'all making my man Lincoln Hardy a bump, like a loser. What's up with that, man? Just let him go to AEW, man. Just say, go ahead and go to AEW. Be broken Matt Hardy. Have Jeff Hardy come with him. So it could be the Bucks, your Bucks versus the Hardy Boys. That would be awesome. I'm
pretty sure that match happened in Ring of Honor years ago.
It did happen. I'm saying AEW. Or the Private Party versus the Hardy. That would be awesome.
I think that Matt Hardy's a very creative person, but the problem with Matt Hardy being a creative person, he's only a creative person when it comes to himself. He's only a creative person in regards to what he touched. He may not be a creative person when it comes to everything around him. And that right there tells you that he cannot be a producer within WWE. I'm not saying that he can't wrestle anymore, but Matt Hardy of the past versus Matt Hardy now is not anything to compare. The best Matt Hardy's ever been, I will say this, is when he was feuding with MVP. That's the Matt Hardy when he was feuding with MVP over the U.S. title was the best Matt Hardy I ever seen.
Yeah, which Hardy was that?
It wasn't the V1 Hardy, and it wasn't the the evil Hardy. It was the Hardy where he just kept on having great matches left and right with anybody. And his feud with MVP led to them winning the tag team titles, which made MVP a double champion.
2 belts, MVP.
MVP had 2 belts. MVP, when Matt Hardy got hurt and he had the tag team match versus The Miz and Morrison, which is pretty interesting. They dropped the belts, and then automatically he said he wanted a rematch. They had a rematch. He calls him to lose the belts again because Matt Hardy was injured. After the match, he attacked his knee, which led to him being out for the rest of the year. The Miz and Morrison won the tag team titles. They retained the tag team titles. MVP went to WrestleMania that year, almost won the Money in the Bank briefcase, but Matt Hardy prevented him from winning it. Matt Hardy beat him on the TV show leading up to their match that they had. I forgot which pay-per-view it was. Matt Hardy won the title from him, and almost as soon as Matt Hardy won the belt from him, they did not know what to do with Matt Hardy too much after that.
Wow.
They really didn't. They had plans for MVP, but they didn't know what to do, to the point that eventually MVP got the U.S. title back through getting it from the person that beat Matt Hardy for it. That was Shelton Benjamin, when Shelton Benjamin had the blonde hair at the time. So, that's the best.
Was that with Chris Benoit versus? Oh yeah, and Chris Benoit. Woo!
Chris Benoit is the person
versus MVP.
MVP versus Chris Benoit happened before that all happened. When he initially became the U.S. champion for the first time, he beat Chris Benoit in a singles match, and then that led to him losing at WrestleMania. He lost at Backlash, but at Judgment Day, they had a 2 out of 3 falls match with him, where he beat Chris Benoit 2 falls to 0. He beat him 2 straight falls, and he won the U.S. title like that. And that led into down the road him feuding with Matt Hardy. So yeah, that's the best version of Matt Hardy. I understand him losing matches because he's somewhat on the way out, or his contract is being negotiated. See, Jeff Hardy is in the predicament that he's in. Don't know what's going on with him. I know he keeps getting these DUIs or getting in trouble in various ways to the point that he needs help. I hope he does get help. But in the meantime, Matt Hardy losing has to do with the fact that he's probably on his way out, kind of like how Dean lost all the matches on his way out.
Yeah.
So that has been the recap so far, this second part of the show. There's been a recap in regards to all things wrestling and all things time for wrestling. On tomorrow, we will recap the Royal Rumble in itself, our favorite things that happened, things we didn't like happen. It just be a summary of our thoughts, and that's how it is.
The surprises.
Surprises, yes. I probably need to write down certain surprises that happened within the Royal Rumble so I can voice my thoughts about it. But this has been.
Before you go, let's talk about the surprises. Who you think is going to be one of the biggest surprises?
Honestly, I would think about it, but we've been so disappointed in regards to surprises. From what I see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 spots that are open in the male Royal Rumble match. It may be more surprises in the women's match as opposed to the males. Now, in regards to the men's, do I think there's going to be any surprises? There'll probably be surprises, but do I think it's going to be like the thing with Edge returning or CM Punk appearing? That happening in one Royal Rumble will be astronomical. More than likely, both of those things are not going to happen.
Man, if Edge comes and CM Punk, man, take my money. Take my money.
It's
a win, but have it set up some things for matter of fact, have CM Punk go get the Miz and throw him out of the ring, and then that's how they can start their rivalry for WrestleMania.
Well, we'll see. I know that it's been expressed from the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, that he wants to go against CM Punk at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So yes, so maybe that'll be set up. I don't know. I know that Seth Rollins will not win any world title anytime soon, but he's pretty much the face of Raw. So we'll see how that's going to work out. I know CM Punk has been out for all this time, and he's stopped himself from being in contract negotiations or stopped himself from being in wrestling in general, but he showed up on WWE Backstage because he wants something to do with wrestling. Maybe this is the time, maybe it is not. I'm over the point of him actually coming back. I don't think that CM Punk was a guy that could be a great wrestler at any age. He's not like a Sting. He's not like a Shawn Michaels or anything like that. He was good for the time he was there. He's not a Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was always a better wrestler than him. Now, CM Punk is popular. I'm not going to deny him being popular, but is he going to be able to have like a 5-star match like I had in the past? Maybe, but Cena's not around anymore, and that's the best match he ever had. You know, the second best match he had was against Undertaker. He's had great matches with guys that either were on the top at the time or no longer there. If you talk about like a third best match he had a great series of matches with Rey Mysterio. His Jericho matches were okay. I don't think, like, it's only one match. The Chicago Street Fight was the best match I've seen those two wrestle. But in regards to like a series of matches, I think his matches versus Rey Mysterio, which led to him losing his hair, that was a good series of matches that he had. But regardless of that, I don't mind if he comes back. If Edge comes back, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with it. But it should not be one of those two winning the Royal Rumble. People work their behind.
I'm not going to say they're going to win.
Yeah, people.
They just surprised.
There are superstars. There are superstars that work their behind off all year long to get to Royal Rumble. There are some people who think that Royal Rumble is their favorite pay-per-view over WrestleMania. So I really hope whoever wins the Royal Rumble is something that both of the Royal Rumbles are something that they can build to have a bigger match at WrestleMania. But in regards to surprises, I don't really know what surprise will be in the male one. In the women's, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I understand she's associated with CM Punk, and the reason why she's not wrestling is because of CM Punk. But if AJ Lee appeared in a Royal Rumble match, I think that would be pretty cool. Like, they could have there's so many people they could have in the women's Royal Rumble match to appear. But like I said, regardless, I don't want it to work itself and the surprise end up being the person that ends up winning the Royal Rumble. Like, what if John Cena appears in the male's Royal Rumble? Everybody at number 30, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you know what's about to happen now."
I'll be like, "No, let's just cut it off." Royal Rumble off. I want to see Cena because I heard that they want Cena to outpass Ric Flair for the title. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't mind him passing Ric Flair for the title, but is he going to be there? Or is he going to pull a Brock Lesnar? You know, if he's going to pull a Brock Lesnar...
No, he's going to pull a freaking The Rock. He talked all that crap about The Rock, and he's doing it.
But that was storyline-wise. I don't think he really felt that way, Maurice. Like, anybody feels that way. Roman would feel that way about John Cena now, if you really think about it. He would feel that way. A lot of people feel that way about Brock. But you know what? Brock is making money for WWE. John Cena is one of the most recognizable faces in WWE. So whatever role they want to play, anything they want to do in regards to bringing Cena back, bringing this wrestler back, bringing that wrestler back, they can do that. It's cool. As long as they have a plan for WrestleMania, that's all that matters to me. Because WrestleMania is supposed to be their top show of the whole year. Everybody's supposed to be clamoring, not knowing who's going to win this match, why this match taking place, is this match going to lead to something else happening? And then the Raw after Mania, that's the biggest TV show of the year. So everything has to lead to these shows so that everybody will be satisfied with paying their hard-earned money to see great matches take place. Now, there's no real WrestleMania type show outside of WWE unless you count Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan, or I don't know what AEW calls their big show because it's only been around for a short period of time. But
they don't have one yet.
When they have one, it'll be there and everything is going to culminate at that show. I think WrestleMania should be a show that everyone, whether you like wrestling or not, wants to be a part of it, kind of like how Super Bowl happens. Super Bowl is coming up, and I think that WrestleMania should be what it used to be as opposed to what it is now. Now, honestly, there's a lot of times that I actually dread WrestleMania coming around because it's like there's nothing that you really would want to see. You can't tell where they're going in regards to the WrestleMania, and the matches as the main event typically does not hold up. Like the main event for this past WrestleMania, I can understand the significance behind it all, but that match was not a great match. Okay? That finish was messed up. And I think the best match on that whole card was Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
That's what I take away from that show. It's not about a male. It's not a. I know. I'm not. It's not about a male thing. It's not about a female thing. It's about the fact that that was a story to take place. I understand. If it was a match between Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch in a singles encounter, that would have been a far greater match than what we saw at the end of WrestleMania. It's almost as if they didn't want to pull that match off, and Charlotte was really pretty much in there just to make it seem as if she was going to be the person that get the loss in regards to the match. So I think that, to be perfectly honest, I want great matches happening at WrestleMania once again. I want matches that in WrestleMania be the best match on the card. The main event should be the best match on the card. That should be the match that everybody clamors to, all the storylines culminated in that moment. That is what people should be talking about. Seth Rollins winning at WrestleMania meant something, but if you really think about it, it meant nothing. Because it didn't change anything. Because where's Brock? He's still with the belt, right? He just has another belt. And he went back on the show that he lost the belt too. Like, he won the Money in the Bank. He cashed in, got the title, lost the belt like a month later. I think a couple of weeks later, or a couple of weeks or a month later. And moved off that show, appeared on SmackDown and wrestled his first match in SmackDown in a decade. And he won in 8 seconds over Kofi Kingston, who was champion for 6 months, Maurice.
Yeah, that made me mad.
Yes. So, all of that stuff makes me say that regardless of the